Welcome to Conscious Living Collective Transformative Journey in Consciousness with community of like-minded people, which is you. My name is Tomek. I'm a scientist, teacher, and transformation coach. As always, in this live session, I try to blend the latest in the scientific research, the deep wisdom of mindfulness, and the art of fulfilled living. This is an invitation to have your own first-hand personal experience and emerge on the other side with a renewed sense of purpose and well-being. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's very good to be here and very good to see you here. I can already see familiar faces, although the icons on the bottom of my screen somehow don't show up. I can only see Anne, I can see Austin, Evie, Marine, Susie, Karen, Meg. Very good to see you guys here. I think we have a lovely, let me see if I can do something about the icon thing. Doesn't work, doesn't seem to. I really like seeing you here floating under my screen, and it creates for me the sense of community. Hello, Anne. As always, I'm curious to know how many of you are joining for the first time so I can explain what Conscious Living Collective is all about. Because for those of you who are joining on a regular basis, and I can see familiar faces here, you already know what is about to happen, why we are here. And for those of you who join on a regular basis, I know that we create a tight, wonderful community of people, but I'd like to ask you for specifically intention behind today's session. Hello, Richard. Hello, Sandy. The title for today's session is Group Field Healing. So, judging by the name, you can tell I will include some science in our CLC. And the reason for that is to bring additional layer of understanding towards what has been already happening in our sessions of CLC, particularly over the past couple of sessions, where focus was on healing. Healing, however, is a term that it seems to be used very often without truly understanding of what is happening. And we know when we bring knowledge to first-hand experience and we match these two parts of very important equation, knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. You indeed will emerge on the other side refreshed and with the new understanding of yourself and the world around you. Hello, Tosca. Hello, Rochelle. Did I miss someone? Did I miss any first timer in the session? Let me see if I can put it on the full screen, if it's going to float. I can see you in the full screen when you are. Okay, that's how it works. You see, I'm learning new things every day. And if I do this, okay, I can see you as well. Good. All right, lesson learned. So indeed, I want to bring in the discussion part of our Conscious Living Collective a bit more understanding towards what is the power of, or why our group sessions are so powerful, and why you may feel a difference between being here together and meditating on your own. Both parts or both practices, both individual and group practices, they have the place. It's not one is better than the other. They have different qualities and they have different, as I explain in a second, they may bring a different experience. And today it's about learning how and why you may feel difference between your personal practice and Conscious Living Collective, and why I am being drawn to Conscious Living Collective so much. Sandy says the frequency increase. Indeed, but what does it really mean? And here, for acceptance and presence, group healing is the great concept to explore. The acceptance and presence are indeed an important aspects of the group healing. And right here, at the start, I want to say that the emergent shared state of awareness that is present in this very moment is not only about practicing together and essentially a few individuals sitting, quote unquote, side by side. We become effectively a coupled system. A coupled system that contains of not one nervous system, but multiple nervous systems. And scientifically speaking, we getting in a sense of coherence or resonance, as Sandy pointed out, that brings, you can experience as a different quality in the meditation. And in order to do it, me as a facilitator, I invite you to bring attention to certain state and infuse it, so to speak, with certain meaning. So when we jump into the meditation part of our session, as most of you know, for the first timers, we start with a conversation and bring some knowledge to the group, and then we meditate as a practical part of the session. So when that happens, we bring those three aspects together. Harmonizing your nervous system, behind infusing the space with the same meaning. In this case, it's healing, or as I prefer to say it, it's more scientific, restoring the balance, because every time you restore balance, healing happens automatically. So your body and mind can enter the state of healing the second you bring yourself closer to the state of balance, and whatever that means and how you will detect it. It's a feeling. It's a heartfelt sense. You just know you are either in balance, or you balanced, or you're out of balance. It's a heartfelt sense, and we can manipulate, so to speak. No, we can perceive and then move towards balance, or put ourselves more into or out of balance. And that usually happens when we're on autopilot. So the key features of us being here are, first of all, as I said, the shared intention. It's very important that when you enter the state, when you enter the space of conscious living collective, you are committed to being here full-heartedly. It's not really a scientific term, full-heartedly, but it comes to me strongly because I think it's your heart has to be in it. What does it mean? That you have to resonate on the heart level with the intention of the group. So, and that's how you enter the space of shared intention. We kind of become a choir that ideally we want to, even if we sing in different voices, we want to harmonize. Yeah? And that can be achieved on the level of conscious living collective through shared intention. And then my job is to, outside of explaining it, to tell you that we enter the space of temporal synchrony, simply because even though you sit in different places from around the world, we are here and now at the same physical time. And that's important too. And then the third aspect is that we aligned our attention. It's called attentional alignment. It simply means that when you are here, I'm assuming that you are here now and you're not doing the dishes and you're not engaged in different activities, because then you will be out of that attunement with the rest of the group. So you can do it if you want to, but I want you to know what are the consequences of that if you choose to split your attention, so to speak. That'll be misalignment. And when this happens, we can experience it as a sense of emotional safety and trust, particularly for the members of my patron program where we meet on Zoom every week. You can see how we develop that over a period of time, that sense of emotional safety and trust that allows us to express ourselves in a more open manner. Simply, it comes easier to share and be together, and you experience that as a heartfelt, positive sense. And my job in all this as a facilitator or a teacher here is to act as a valve, as a regulator of your presence here. This is my only job. That's what I'm trying to achieve by bringing you together, to allow you to flourish, so to speak, or to bring you to the container when you feel safe. And the rest of it happens on its own, which is absolutely beautiful thing. So as compared to the regular practice, and I will ask you to pay attention to those little details when we jump into meditation, you may find, again, I'm asking you simply to pay attention and find out on your own, as opposed to me telling you what's going to happen. There are many aspects of it. I will mention only a few. You'll feel that it feels quieter than expected, as opposed to the solo practice, right? Where the thoughts come and they easily overwhelm you. Because we are coming into the field that we created, the stability of that field gives you the quietness. Also, it feels more stable because we're building this field on the back of so many of us. And you, each individual, and Tosca, Seth, hello Fiona, Austin, Sandy, Evie, Maureen, Richard, Rochelle, and please raise your hand, whoever else is here. You are the pillars of the stability of that field that makes it easy to everybody else. And then you will experience it's much easier to rest into it. And in that container, you feel like your emotions are somewhat stabilized. Marlo, good to see you here. So as a result of it, you'll see it for yourself, occasionally go deeper than in your personal practice and feel clearer than when you do it individually. And to put it into layman terms, what many people already reported in the past sessions of Conscious Living Collective, it feels like I didn't have to try as hard. You still make an effort. There's attention and meaning and balancing and synchronization of our nervous systems. And as a result, it didn't have to try as hard. It comes easier. And as many, and this is maybe the part where I actually, after years and years of facilitating meditation it came to me as a surprise is that my job here wasn't really give you much. The content is secondary. What is actually more important is the tone of my voice, the pacing of my speech. When we do a bit of breathing, so the breathing rhythm, less, I think, my facial micro expressions that you can see only on the screen. I don't know how big is your screen and how much of it you can see, but you resonate with it. So my job as a facilitator is to create for you that space holder where all these elements are being received and provide that calmness and security and safety and trust. And the big reason why I even bother with social conscious living collective and the social aspect of it is because it is our nature. Humans are profoundly social mammals. We are profoundly social. Every time you feel that, oh, I want to be alone, you feel disconnected and alienated, you go against your nature most of the time. There are times where we choose to be alone and being completely content and satisfied, but vast majority of the cases throughout your life, you will want to socialize because it's part of who we are. It's a part of why you've chosen this reality system to interact with, because you, on some level, accepted and embraced the fact that we are social creatures. And now the part that you will experience on the unconscious level is when you join the meditation part. And already to some extent now, I'm intentionally trying to modulate my voice and slow down and pass the content which is secondary in a way that you have time to entrain. And what is entrainment? Entrainment is another way of saying that we are synchronizing slowly prior to the meditation when that synchronization deepens even further. Okay? So there is an aspect right now, as you look at the screen and you hear my voice, you tune in with your attention consciously, but also there is a part that you unconsciously align with our, again, intention and meaning of this group, which is tuning into the group field and experience healing as a result. And then as a result, the wandering reduces. You're being more drawn into it. And the silence that will occur during the meditation, a part of it at least, will be more dense. There's a density of the experience. You pass the field that you connect with, the field is the same, but you connect with it more, so you experience it as an increased density of it. So again, another aspect of it I invite you to pay attention to. So for me, what happens during my solo practice, and as a scientist, my mind, as you know, mentioned many times, is very strong. So I have a sense that I have to monitor myself, right? I'm the only one who is a part of I'm the container and the experiencer, and hence the sense of self-monitoring is much stronger. There's a sense of striving that I have to get somewhere, and it's much more difficult to relax. So it almost feels like a subtle performance anxiety. When I meditate myself, I become anxious because I want to get somewhere, And I want to get there obviously as soon as possible. And as a result, there is that underlying anxiety that then obviously becomes a um, a destination for mind wandering, and the vicious circles that lead us astray, so to speak. So, and the lay term to express that is me doing meditation versus more meditation is happening. See, there's a subtle difference. I'm meditating versus meditation is happening. And I'm sure you had a chance, and feel free to share with us if you sometimes had that sense when you meet someone that you like, or a situation where you just feel at ease. Meditation is happening. There's no effort required. There's no checking in with yourself continuously. If I'm behaving right, if I'm doing the right thing, striving to be accepted and included. And so you're just there, and it's like, it feels so good to be here. Meditation is happening to you. Okay? Austin, when I look up the trees against the sky, the reason why I'm playing to you today, Peter's Helen's, hold on. Oh dear. I apologize. I was just going through many prompts before I get to the Peter's Helen's Forest Whisper. That's the music you've been hearing. And that's in reference to Austin's When I Look Up at the Trees Against the Sky. We hear the whisper, either consciously or unconsciously, of something that is deeper and it's more grounding. And in the same way as we have the ability to tune in, the nature's always tuned in. So when there's no one around you, and again, this is a good point, thank you, Austin. When there's no one around you, you still can see that grounding and field in nature. Nature has its own field that is very grounding, and it can facilitate, as opposed to me, Tomek, sitting in front of the screen, attempting to facilitate and be container. Nature can be that container. Always is. It's always at your disposal. You see that when you go to the garden, the flowers or trees or shrubs, they're not going to fight back. They will always take you in. So this is a very good point. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Chelsea. Marlo, it's the expectation that distorts the experience. That is true. Your mind wants a certain experience, and when that does not happen, there's a friction. We spoke about it during last session. The friction happens. What you resist, it persists and grows. And you experience that as the dissonance, as the sense of imbalance. And last thing I want to mention before we jump into meditation is, Rochelle confirms, I experience this feeling every time I take a walk in nature. Yeah, this is the power of nature. The last thing I want to mention before we actually get to experience the field, the healing field that we all create, is a concept that consciousness is contagious. And what does that actually mean? That there's no mystical, I don't want to get mystical here. It's very actually concrete. State of awareness, what it means that consciousness is contagious, it means simply that states of awareness, you're in a certain state of awareness right now, they propagate through relationships. Again, humans are social mammals or social animals. It's part of our nature. We chosen this reality system for as a part of the reason that we can experience that, we can practice that. And in the same way as anxiety spreads in a room, an example, I'm sure you went into a place and you felt uncomfortable because the field group in the room was very anxious. The same way calm can spread throughout the room and ideally through me. I try to maintain my calm state because I'm the space holder. And another example of the fact that consciousness is contagious is the laughter spreads without effort. I can share a story with you when I was a kid and I was an altar boy. Altar boy is the guy who faces the priest when the priest delivers the service during the mass, and if one person started laughing, it's an incredible experience. You never laugh as hard as standing in front of the priest during the mass. It's so contagious. If someone starts laughing for whatever reason, you are gonna experience it. And I didn't know why, because maybe even there wasn't anything funny. But if that happens, that was definitely experience of the group field. And then all of a sudden, everybody was laughing, and it was so difficult to contain that laughter. So you can experience it, obviously, that the fact that consciousness is contagious. I'm sure you have many examples of your own. So this is what we will be consciously bringing forth: the state and the container and the field that we enter and you become a pillar of. That's what's basically, in a nutshell, is going to happen now. Do you have any questions or comments before we jump into the meditation part? Marlo asked, what is your field within the scientific community? I wonder, what do you mean by that? What is my field within the scientific community? As in my field of expertise, I am an organic chemist. So I was trained, my training was science, and more specifically chemistry, and my Ph.D. was in organic chemistry or molecule design. So I was basically looking at the building blocks of the organic of life, and how they kind of came together for what they are. And I learned how to design and manipulate certain molecules in order to put them in a form of something like a pharmacological, like a medicine, and try to understand why design, why structure can influence the property. And that, related to what is happening now, I very much use these days scientific method, which is a systematic exploration of reality to inform myself and bring that understanding to you. And through that, enhance your experience through enhancing the understanding of what is happening around you. So thank you, Marlo, for asking the question. Okay, any other comments or questions before we start? Beautiful. I think we are ready. So once again, I do not know what is going to happen on the level of content. I do not prepare a specific script for meditation. I just allow myself to be open. And maybe because I guided so many meditations, some of the parts are kind of, I don't know how to say it, rehearsed, because I did it did it before, and I'm using the same words always. I'm learning new words every day. Maybe that's not true, but I'm learning new things every day. It doesn't mean that they're gonna influence, all of them are gonna influence this space immediately. But the aspects when I allow myself to be open and care more for the tone and rather than the delivery itself, this is very important. Austin comes with help. Intuitive. That's the word. I allow it to be more intuitive as a result of the field that you are a pillar of. I'm responsive. I'm soft and responsive towards what you, every single of you here, co-created. Richard, thank you so much for your very kind donation. Thank you all for being here and supporting me. Obviously, that could not happen without you. This is the important aspect of the field healing. There's no field healing within one person. It's very limited. I'm relying on you here to be a pillar of this group field healing. You are an important part by aligning your attention, your intention, and bringing the same meaning so you can experience it on your own and benefit from it all. Oh, hello, Richard. Normally Parvana tunes in, and I'm so happy to see Richard here. Hello, Richard and Parvana. Very good to see you here. I was wondering when Parvana is, and there's like, she's there with Richard. That's fantastic. So good. All right, without further ado, let's just jump into it. And we'll be supported by Forest Whisper. We bringing nature in the means of music by Peter Helland, our wonderful music creator, beautiful composer. Look him up on Inside Timer. He's there offering his beautiful supportive music. Forest Whisper. Right here with us. Okay. I will switch the screen to meditation view. That represents our intention. Become more an observer of what is happening. Right here at the start, begin by tuning in whatever there is you experience in this very moment. It is very likely that this starting point for this exploration is going to lead you into a deeper field state supported by the pillars of all your presence. This meditation is more about allowing things to happen to you rather than actively striving to get somewhere. The qualities that I invite you to embrace is softness, stillness, quietness, and recognize that all these qualities to some extent are part of this present moment. there are many different aspects of here and now. You may experience mind wandering, different sensations within your body, external sounds. But somewhere there amongst all this content, there's also our group field sense that comes not as a voice, but as a dense, welcoming silence and stillness. And right now, I want to invite you to hone onto it and choose in the field of your experience that still, quiet point. And see for yourself if you can go deeper into it or around it. And see how your body responds. Do you experience more tension? Or perhaps there is a room for ease and softness? If it helps, imagine yourself sitting in nature, safe and contained, knowing that everything supports your well-being in this very moment. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do. The state of resting and allowing. You belong there. You always have. Now, it is only a matter of recognizing it for yourself. And the deeper you go into that stillness, you begin recognizing that you are not there on your own. There are others who join you there, who always have been there, waiting for the same thing that we always been wanting to experience. The sense of being that is beyond words, beyond your status, your race, your belief systems. The state of being that unifies us on the most fundamental level. And when you enter this space, the healing simply happens. Because there's nothing else but healing in this loving space where we all belong, where we all come from. And when occasional thought pops in, when you find yourself disturbed in any shape or form, simply recognize that as a ripple in the balanced state. And then you simply return to where you always have been drawn towards, the state of safety, loving compassion, belonging. And see for yourself, how does your body respond to that collective field? See for yourself what's right for you. Where are you being drawn towards? And as always, I'll be here, the container, the space holder, for you to safely explore and bring you back when the time is up. And now, shift your awareness back to your physical state and feel for yourself the difference between state of your body and mind when you started this meditation and right now. Is there anything you'd like to take with you moving forward with your day? Is there any aspect of your current experience that you'd like to inform your other actions? You are indeed loved. You are supported through this field of belonging, the field of love. And it's only a matter of continuously establishing the connection with it, with everything that you do, everywhere that you go, and that you will feel supported and encouraged and infused with new energy and vitality as that connection continues. So now, before you conclude, express your gratitude for this experience, for the fact that you came closer with who you truly are on the fundamental level, beyond your roles in society, your challenges. And give yourself a gentle pat on the shoulder for having the courage to go there and reconnect with who you truly are on this fundamental level. And affirm this with one deep breath. Breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And when you find yourself ready, open your eyes and welcome back. Thank you so much for meditating with me. That was truly lovely. I certainly could feel the connection, Austin, like the mycelium in the forest. Oh, I love this metaphor. Always connected. Mycelium, the biggest organism in the universe. No, I'm sorry, in the world. It's mycelium, and that's what's under the ground. You cannot see it through your eyes, but it's there. That's exactly what happened. We connected we recognized the connection. We always connected. We just recognized consciously that connection and the healing that happened through it. I suddenly had a moment where, oh wow. So that was me, but how did you go? Most importantly, Seth, CLC is that container. I continue to be surprised at how able to create a sense of community that approaches what I experience when I am meditating in the physical company of others. Seth, thank you so much. You are indeed a pillar. Could not happen without you. I'm so appreciative of your presence. I'm so glad that you are here. For Laura, it's collective calmness. Yeah, that's how I felt. By the way, Karen and Seth, thank you so much for your very generous and kind support. Appreciate it very much. For Fiona, patient is what I take into my day. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I have found you an Insight Timer, and I'm glad, Fiona, that I could be a container for your experience. It really fills my heart. This is what I experience right now, the sense of gratitude that so many of you have joined. So many of you had a chance to experience that, because that's the greatest contribution we can do to the world, is through the collective presence and stillness and being containers for others, for those who don't have courage, energy, or resources to do so. We are doing it for them. We're doing a service. Susie, I'm glad you enjoyed the practice. Evie, I'd like to carry the support with me. Calmness of thoughts floating without worry. Do, by all means. This is the support, I think, the word that stands out in your comment. Because we so very often in this very disturbed world, we feel unsupported. We feel alienated. and singled out. And it feels like we carry a lot. So that support means a lot in a situation like that. Thank you, Rochelle. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Ellen, również dziękuję. Ellen used the Polish thank you. It's very good to see it. Dziękuję bardzo. Do we have any other Polish participants? I'm just out of curiosity than anything else. I don't believe I had many. Oh, really? Fiona. How interesting. I didn't, over the years, never occurred to me to ask if anybody else is Polish, simply because it's not that important to me. I think part of the what we experience here is going beyond those, the nationality or social status or belief systems. But nevertheless, it feels good to know that there are a couple of Poles in our company. Thank you for joining. For Anne, softness, support, and great depth. Thank you. There we go. Polish connection. That was Polish. Wonderful. So yeah, another wonderful, wonderful experience. Thank you so much for joining. We will continue with Conscious Living Collective next week. In the meantime, I published quite a few new guided meditations that are in the vein of healing and establishing connection with that field of consciousness, that offers you support. So in between now and the next Conscious Living Collective, feel free to use them. Simply go to my profile and find the library of meditations that I always try, above the content, I try to convey the sense of calm and support for you to flourish in. So feel free to use them. Thank you so much for all your donations, all your generous support that allows me to continue my work and worry a bit less about the security aspect of my existence, which I know for a fact that is on minds of most. And you supporting me achieves that safety for me. Thank you so much. Tosca feels so calming and relaxing and happy to know that everything is going to work out. Exactly that. Exactly that. Those moments help us to recognize that things are all right. Austin, I didn't know. Okay. Another Polish connection. How interesting. I thought I should know that, but there we go. Anne and Nancy. Thank you so much. And in the vein of today's session, I want to thank you all for being a pillar of this group field healing. I certainly can experience that on my own, and I sincerely hope that you had a chance to tap into it yourself. And we will continue this in our next session and all sessions of Conscious Living Collective. I will leave you with Forest Whispers by Peter Helland. Thank you so much for being here, for contributing to the collective healing of yourself and others. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then.